What's up everyone, this is Tony with JRNYcrypto. In this video we're going to be going over the current crypto markets and where I believe we're currently at and why we could be in the disbelief phase of the current market cycle and yet to see the peak of this current bull market. A lot of people still saying we're going to pass 100,000 by end of year. A lot of data does suggest this as well, so we're going to be going over some very important information here and why I continue to dollar cost average at these lower prices. So before we get started, I do appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell to be notified for my daily crypto videos Monday to Friday and sometimes on the weekend. Alright guys, so keep in mind this is not financial advice, just my own personal opinion. So I personally believe that we haven't seen the peak of the bull market yet. I do believe end of year is going to be looking much better, and in the short term we probably will have a few good bounces here, but overall I do think we're going to be in an extended accumulation phase. So I'm expecting Bitcoin to be retesting $50,000 in July, and I think Ethereum is going to be doing even better. We did discuss this in yesterday's video with the London hard fork coming, which was just confirmed for beginning of August, which is even better because that gives us more time leading up to the mainnet, which will be rising with demand. So personally I did pick up a good amount of Ethereum for this. I will be selling along the way. Still very possible that they do delay that again though. So interesting topic here going over this is the Bitcoin bull run only in the disbelief market cycle phase. So if Bitcoin did peak out in the bull market at $64,500 at the very top, that would be very strange and that would be unlike anything we've had in crypto history so far. So this is referring to the Wall Street cheat sheet, psychology of a market cycle. So very important to understand psychology when it comes to the markets because that's how the markets move in waves. Basically when there's peak greed is when you're going to be having a euphoric phase like this where the markets are peaking, you're up over 10x, everything is good in the space, you think it's going to continue climbing. And then when we do have peak fear in the space is usually when you have your best entries here at the bottom, but that is very hard to time, just like it's very hard to time the top as well, which is why I will be doing a video coming up on my crypto entry and exit strategy, kind of discuss that so you guys can get a better idea on my percentages and how I plan to stagger orders going in and out of the markets. So if we are in the disbelief phase, that would be a good thing. If we do have a steady rally for the next couple months, I do believe that's when we'll be leading into optimism and then peaking out into that euphoric phase with Bitcoin over $100,000. So supporting him is stock to flow model creator Plan B, who is eyeing a minimum Bitcoin USD price of $135,000 by the end of 2021. So that stock to flow model we have discussed a lot here on the channel. So compared to the last bull markets, we really haven't seen the peak of this bull market if things do go somewhat similar. Of course, it's not going to repeat exactly, but when you consider all the mass adoption and things happening, all the products in development, all the new projects working on mass adoption and companies that are beginning to do crypto related services like Visa and MasterCard, PayPal, possibly Apple as well. Pretty much the biggest payment processors in the world are looking into cryptocurrencies. So this shows there's high demand. It's not going away. And we've only had the beginning of institutional adoption as well. Basically Tesla, MicroStrategy, and Square. So that was just 3 companies that helped push us to over $60,000 Bitcoin. So imagine where the Bitcoin price will be when we have over 100 companies fighting for the Bitcoin that's available in circulation. So I believe it is very possible and actually more likely than not, we will see Bitcoin break over 100,000 by end of year. We do have to keep in mind other countries are considering making Bitcoin legal tender and more institutions are considering acquiring Bitcoin, especially now that the market has crashed and leveled out. The longer we do stay in this phase of 30,000 to 40,000, the more companies that are going to be buying at these current prices. So more buying pressure will build over time, which is why I believe we will be in a steady rise here over the next couple months. So we have no idea where we're at in this current accumulation phase. A lot of people do believe we already hit the spring in the Wyckoff accumulation schematic. This article claiming that we're not even close though, and we do have another good bounce before we actually hit that spring, which will be around 25 to 27 or $28,000 Bitcoin. So many experts have been claiming Bitcoin would test that as well, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen one more time before the crypto space really enters a solid uptrend towards the end of the year. So Wyckoff Groundhog indicates crypto winter may last another 6 weeks. So this is where everyone thinks we're currently at in the Wyckoff accumulation, and if this is true, we would be breaking upwards. We'd be in an uptrend here for the next couple weeks and be breaking that 40,000 resistance, and then breaking out of that back to $50,000 Bitcoin. But if we are still in the earlier phases here, which this chart shows, we would be around middle of phase B, which means another huge bounce would be coming, which kind of lines up with what I've been saying, that we will be seeing a good bounce here in July. So this could line up with that, which is why I will be taking some profits if we do test $40,000 to $42,000 again, but only a smaller percentage. And then if we do break upwards out of that, that will be definitely a great sign that we are headed out of the accumulation phase and back in an uptrend towards end of year. So in my personal opinion, I do believe we're in the disbelief phase still, and we're yet to see the real peak of this current bull market, which I do think will be well over $100,000 Bitcoin. There's just so many things happening by end of year, and we're at the very beginning of institutional and country government adoption of Bitcoin. Basically El Salvador being the only country that has made Bitcoin a legal tender. So imagine by end of 2021, we have 2 more countries that have began accepting Bitcoin as legal tender, and 3 to 5 more institutions that have acquired $1 billion worth of Bitcoin or more. I definitely think we will be over $100,000 Bitcoin if we do see that happening. So this article is also claiming that the market crashed as bad as it did, and we're not recovering yet. And it appears that we're headed into another bear market here because China is really attacking cryptocurrency and cracking down, banning Bitcoin mining. So this stating China's move to go for the kill when it comes to Bitcoin's health has already failed to produce its intended result. In 9 years, I've never seen a bull market end in disbelief. Consensus is sideways and one more leg down. So I am seeing this as a general prediction in the space right now that we will have one more major leg down, possibly to the mid 20,000s for Bitcoin, before we really start seeing an uptrend back to all-time highs by end of year. So China decides to go for the kill. It didn't work, and that was their last ace, so expect them to try anything. You can't beat the bull. So I definitely think China is going to go for the full-out ban on cryptocurrencies by end of 2021. They want to push their own digital currency on their citizens. They don't want them using Bitcoin, Ethereum, and 10,000 plus other altcoins for various utilities, when they can enforce them to use their centralized digital currency and have complete control over that, keeping revenue within the country as well, just like they do with Twitter and Google and YouTube and every other major internet platform. They create their own version that they enforce in their country, keeping the revenue in the country. So it is very possible that major manipulation on the back end and China trying to kill Bitcoin is what caused this market crash, and that we're still not done with this bull market and still in this disbelief phase. I definitely agree with this. Most experts in the space I've seen think that we still have one more leg down before we really start moving upwards again and breaking all-time highs by end of year. But that does seem to be the general sentiment, that we are going to be breaking all-time highs again by end of year, and that things will be looking much better here in the next couple of months. So I do want to give you guys a quick warning to be cautious the next couple weeks here before I end the video. A lot of people believe we're headed out of Wyckoff accumulation, where we will be testing $40,000 to $42,000 major resistance. But if we are actually around the middle phase of accumulation, we will still have a similar test of resistance here before we drop again to hit that spring of $25,000 to $28,000 Bitcoin. If that happens, a lot of altcoins are going to have optimal entry points. So I am kind of holding out there. I did pick up some altcoins recently though, and those are already looking pretty good. So regardless, I do think July is going to be looking good. We will have a good bump here. I will be selling a small percent, taking profits if we do test that resistance, and then buying back in if we hit that spring. But regardless, if we continue upwards, I'm happy with that as well. So anything can really happen here, especially with regulations. We don't know the extent of how far and how many regulations are kicking in just the next couple of months here. A lot of countries are pushing this as soon as possible, which is why I do believe it's more likely than not accumulation will continue, where we're stuck between $30,000 to $40,000 Bitcoin, which is actually a great dollar cost averaging zone in my personal opinion, where I'm buying. If we do drop below 30,000, I'll continue buying any time below that as well, and just continue dollar cost averaging, because I do know where this is headed in the long term. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys found it useful. If you did, I appreciate if you guys liked the video, comment below, share this video with anyone that may also find it useful. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.